Very good. We will now resume our regular council meeting. There was a report coming forward from closed session, and with that, I would like to announce the appointment of Louise Bedford to the BIA to finish off this term of council. So with that, I'd look for a motion to approve the appointment. We got Councillor Huntley and Councillor Moore. Madam Clerk, recorded vote.
My apologies, Mr. Mayor. Where was the mover and seconder on that?
We got Councillor Huntley and Councillor Moore.
Councillor Huntley.
Yes.
Councillor Belch.
Yes.
Councillor Moore.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Graham.
Yes.
Mayor McFadden.
Yes, motion is approved. Thank you very much, Louise. We now have no delegations. We'll move into our minutes. Item 8.1, minutes of the regular meeting held January 18th, 2021. Motion to adopt those minutes. Deputy Mayor Graham, Councillor Huntley, Madam Clerk, recorded vote.
Councillor Huntley.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Graham.
Yes.
Councillor Moore.
Yes.
Councillor Belch.
Yes.
Mayor McFadden.
Yes, motion is approved. Actually, I'm just going to do the next three altogether, Madam Clerk, unless you've got an issue. We can just approve the next three, 8.2, 8.3, and 8.4 being the special meetings minutes.
That's okay with me?
Okay, Deputy Mayor Graham, seconded by Councillor Belch. Madam Clerk, recorded vote.
Councillor Huntley.
Yes.
Councillor Belch.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Graham.
Yes.
Councillor Moore.
Yes.
Mayor McFadden.
Yes, motion is approved. Next item is the minutes from committees and boards. We have the Cabmonaghan Public Library Board minutes before us. Motion to Councillor Moore, did you want to speak to the minutes?
I'm sorry. Yes, I did. And I've set them aside. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. Why don't we just park those? We'll move on to reports and we can always come back to them.
Okay, I'll bring it up because she emailed it to me.
Okay, not a problem. So we will,
Alright.
Madam Clerk, we'll just go on to reports and we will come back to the minutes for the committees and boards later.
Okay.
Okay, so our first report, item 10.1, report building 2021-01, Deputy Chief Building Official Appointment Bylaw, Mr. Phillips. I don't see Mr. Phillips, but I see 3 Cindy pages.
I am here. Sorry, I thought that John was presenting this. I can present it though, no problem. Through you, Mayor. So the recommendation for the report, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can hear you, we just can't see you.
Just can't see me. I've got both turned on.
No, we can kind of see you, but it's a little dark.
Oh,
It's because the window's behind you.
yes. So the recommendation is that council appoint Frederick Heilenbrunner as a Deputy Chief Building Official for the Township of Cabmonaghan through approval of bylaw number 2021-05.
Very good, excellent. Can I get a motion to receive that report and accept the recommendation? Deputy Mayor Graham, Councillor Moore, Madam Clerk, recorded vote.
Councillor Huntley.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Graham.
Yes.
Councillor Belch.
Yes.
Councillor Moore.
Yes.
Mayor McFadden.
Yes, motion is approved. Now, Kyle, as we normally do, it's now Frick's opportunity for his 5-minute thank you. Is he present?
I don't believe Frick is present. No.
We'll move on for that one too then. Item 10.2, report corporate services 2021-03, community safety and well-being plan. Ms. Arthurs?
Recommendation is that council direct staff to send a letter to the Ministry of Community Safety and Correctional Services requesting consideration to provide an extension and a new deadline for completing the community safety and well-being plan.
Very good. Any questions from members of council? Seeing none, motion then to receive the report and accept the recommendation. Deputy Mayor Graham and Councillor Moore. Madam Clerk, recorded vote.
Councillor Moore.
Yes.
Councillor Huntley.
Yes.
Councillor Belch.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Graham.
Yes.
Mayor McFadden.
Yes, motion is approved. Item 10.3, report corporate services 2021-04, telephone and internet voting in the 2022 municipal election. Ms. Arthurs?
The recommendation is that council adopt bylaw number 2021-08, being a bylaw to provide for the alternative voting methods for the 2022 municipal election, and that council authorize the use of telephone and internet voting only as the means of casting a ballot in the 2022 municipal election.
Very good. Just a quick question. Ranked ballots were an issue last election as a possibility. Where did the province leave that? Is it gone? You could still do it, or where is that?
They did originally remove it. There's surprisingly been a lot of municipalities that have said they want the option to be able to do it. So we're just waiting on the final word, whether or not they're going to allow it back in or if they're going to keep it out.
Okay, so we can continue on with this report, approve it, and if that discussion comes back, we could certainly bring it up at a later time.
Absolutely.
Excellent. Any other questions for Madam Clerk? Councillor Huntley.
Through you, Chair. I mean, this has been our method for voting for the last 2 elections now. Like, is this, like, are we instating this forever, or is this, we're going to do this every time an election comes around? Like, what's the protocol here?
Through you, Mr. Mayor. Unfortunately, we do have to do it with every election. I would love to have a bylaw that just says we'll do it indefinitely, but through the Act, we are required to pass a bylaw for every election.
Very good. Any other questions? If none, motion to receive the report and accept the recommendation. Deputy Mayor Graham and Councillor Huntley. Madam Clerk, recorded vote.
Councillor Belch,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Graham,
Yes.
Councillor Moore,
Yes,
Councillor Huntley,
Yes.
Mayor McFadden.
Yes, motion is approved. Next item, 10.4, report CIO 2021 report and capital project status. Any questions for Ms. Hurley? I wanted to raise one item. We have approved funding for do a facility review specifically of the old Millbrook Arena. And I was looking to the rest of council whether they would see to support expanding that scope, given that we're going to do that with full public consultation, expand that to other facilities that we have to do a fulsome review of those facilities, namely the Lions Den, Bruce Johnson Library, and the Old Millbrook School. Council? Oh, Ms. Hurley?
Just for clarification, Mr. Chairman,
Okay.
the funding that we've put in there is for an ICIP grant, which we have not heard the results of yet. So just for clarification, it is identified for carrying out some work with regards to the Millbrook Arena. However, the funding, we are still waiting, the pending funding.
Okay, so, but we could certainly, so because this is outside of the scope of that ICIP, we would be looking at additional dollars that we'd have to consider at budget time for these additional facilities, or could we incorporate it into?
I believe it would be additional.
Okay.
We can certainly check, but I believe it would be additional, sir.
Okay, as do I. I just think as part of the overall long-term plan with regards to the other facilities, I think it would be prudent of us to take a look at those other facilities in light of the last year in the pandemic and certain issues that have come up with various buildings, so that we have a fulsome understanding not only of what's required in the short term, long term, but also the effective utilization of each of those facilities. So I think that would be best handled by an outside consultant to come in and do a complete review. Councillor Huntley?
Through you, Chair. If you're going to go that far, does it make sense to like just select certain buildings, or would it be more fulsome to kind of, you know, the entire township inventory of facilities?
Well, I think on that, we're already moving ahead with the work shards discussions as well as the fire hall. So outside of those other two, maybe I'm missing one, but the only other one is literally our facility that we're have the municipal office that we're in the middle of renovations in right now. Are you thinking those ones, or are you thinking other buildings like the new community center?
I guess my point being is I wouldn't want to miss one, and I'm not sure whether there are other ones out there or not. So instead of, you know, being specific to which ones, I think, you know, saying, you know, the municipal buildings versus, you know, specific ones.
Yeah, I didn't want to include it because they're already captured in I didn't want to include fire halls, and I didn't want to include the Millbrook yard, and I didn't want to include the cabin yard. So that was we could scope it the other way and exclude certain buildings, but I don't see the value in doing one for the fire hall and the work shards and the cabin yard and the municipal office, unless Ms. Hurley does. Deputy Mayor Graham?
The only thing that I think might be an outlier to that previous statement, Mayor, is the current lands of Station 1 might be one specific property that we might want to include.
No, I wasn't looking at lands. Sorry, just facility.
No, but the facility there too, because, like, for instance, if there is a cleanup that might be required on that facility on those lands as well, right? I mean, it might be something worth including.
Ms. Hurley?
Through you, Mr. Chairman, I would support Deputy Graham with regards to if we were doing an assessment review with facilities, that is something we're going to have to consider at a later time anyhow, is what the future purpose would be for us to continue with that property or potentially identify it as surplus. So maybe that's something that we could take a look at as well.
Okay, so in light of that, should we also include the Cavan Yard, given that if we're looking at a new building, whether we should replace or leave the existing building up or take it down? Is that part of that discussion then as well?
No. For you, Mr. Chairman, no, I think you're correct. I would leave the operations center and off the discussion because it's being proposed for a new development on that property, and they are utilizing the old facility as well. So I don't think that's something that you want to consider. I think if I may, I think you're trying to take a look at the other facilities that aren't currently maybe being directly utilized by municipal staff. So you're talking about potentially any other facilities such as the Lions Den, Old Millbrook School, Bruce Johnson, and the potential old fire hall when we get to that point, if that's the case. Or you could also do that at a later time if you wish.
Yeah, I can appreciate Councillor Huntley's perspective with regards to other buildings. I'm more of the line. I just want to identify the ones that we don't want included in the study, because just another thought that came to mind is Cavan Maple Leaf Park, like the washroom facilities and the canteen and all of that. So to Councillor Huntley's point, maybe if we leave it broad, but if there's going to be buildings that you exclude or we exclude right now, maybe, I don't know, would you suggest you come back? I don't want to miss anything, but at the same time, I don't want to waste time on facilities that we really didn't intend this for. Councillor Huntley?
Yeah, the three Treasurer. I think having a fulsome list of all the properties is what we need. And if there's no action required, then no action required. Or if there's something like the fire hall's already in progress, that can just be identified. But I think
Sure,
you have to have like a comprehensive list. I don't think we can
that's a really good point. There's no urgency to do this today. I think that's a great point, Ms. Hurley. If we just come back with that list for consideration, and at that point, then we're confident that we haven't missed anything or included something that we really don't want included in that report. Does that work?
Through you, Mr. Chairman, that absolutely does work. And I think it would give us an opportunity to discuss exactly what we're asking of a consultant. And so we have a very clear understanding of what's being asked. What is, the current use of the property, what's potentially a future use, what does the property cost, operations, capital, etc. So maybe we could put that into a report, bring it before you, and then that way we can make sure that we're all on the same page of exactly what we're looking for, not only from the property, but exactly what we're asking of a consultant to review.
Okay, very good. Madam Clerk, did you get all that?
Yes, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, so essentially to Councillor Huntley, if you're going to move that, then we're going to bring back a report with regards to the facilities, and Ms. Hurley has a clean grasp on exactly what we're going to do. So that's perfect. Councillor Huntley, mover. Okay, seconder. Deputy Mayor Graham, any further comment? Okay, Madam Clerk, recorded vote.
Councillor Moore,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Graham,
Yes.
Councillor Huntley,
yes.
Councillor Belch,
yes.
Mayor McFadden.
Yes, motion is approved. Thanks, Council. That's fantastic. Thanks, Ms. Hurley. Anything else on the capital project list? If not, I'll get a motion to receive that. We got Councillor Belch and we got Councillor Moore. We got Councillor Moore on a seconder?
Sure.
Yes, okay, very good. Madam Clerk, recorded vote to receive the capital project status.
Deputy Mayor Graham,
Yes.
Councillor Belch,
Yes.
Councillor Huntley,
Yes.
Councillor Moore,
Yes.
Mayor McFadden.
Yes, motion is approved. Next item, Council Committee of Verbal Reports. If you've got nothing to report, that's understood. Councillor Huntley.
Nothing to report at this point.
Very good. Councillor Moore.
Yes, I have three takeaways from the library board. The first one is that just they want to let you know that 2020 annual report was completed and 2021 work plan has started. 307 participants have used the learning trails and are being used by people of all ages, including people without children. And strong board support for pay equity maintenance is something that they want you to know about.
Very good. Sorry to put you on the spot, and if you're not sure, that's okay. We can come back to it. The second one that you mentioned, that participation, which is for kids and those without kids, is that a virtual thing, or is that something they do physically in the libraries?
No, I believe it's outside.
But it's a physical thing?
I believe it is, but
Okay.
you better not quote me because I'm not 100%.
Okay, I honestly wasn't sure. I'm not aware of the program, and I just wasn't sure whether it's something that they were able to do throughout the pandemic or not.
Yeah, I'm under the understanding that it's something done outside, socially distanced, but I wouldn't swear to it. So I don't want somebody to yell at me.
No, very good. Okay, any other questions for Councillor Moore? If not, we'll move along then. Deputy Mayor Graham?
Through you, Mayor, MVT did meet on Monday. One of the things that we'll be reporting to on an ongoing basis was we had a discussion with regards to, sort of strategic priorities and, sort of being optimistic that more of the trail maintenance will be able to be conducted this year than was last year. And obviously the trails have been receiving a substantial amount of traffic, as it's one of the few things that we can do safely in our small groups and socially distanced. The one thing that will be coming back to council is one of the things that we discussed as a committee was an update or a slight rejuvenation of the Trails Master Plan that we're going to work on, just specifically with regards to the schedule for works and projects to be done. It hasn't been revisited or updated since the master plan was formed in 2010. So as you can see, there's a number of projects on the list that were fairly ambitious on timelines from what could be feasible for this hardworking group of volunteers and their minimal budget allocation every year. So I think that would be the main sort of point for discussion, is that really sort of narrowing down that list and being committed to revisiting it on a 5-year term so that we can, identify those targets so that everyone can be aware, and things like fundraising efforts can be planned for and things of the like, so that there's just a bit more transparency with that document and it's used for a bit more of what it's intended to be, as sort of an ongoing, sort of constantly, leading document. So there's a small subcommittee that's formed that's going to be involved in that effort, and if there's any changes that might be incorporated, they'll be coming to council as a presentation of, but that's sort of to give a little bit more structure to the short-term planning for the committee as a whole. So that's the major report, and yep, look forward to or open to any questions.
Very good. So just to be clear, so is it we're doing a new Trails Master Plan, or it's just a little update? I'm just
the intention, through you, Mayor, the intention is to simply just look at the document. I mean, not a lot of the contents that were established from the intentions and things like that, or the language or the framework, doesn't really need to change very much. There's maybe a few nuances that, in some of the more recent discussions have been misinterpreted or might be, I think, speak to beyond the framework of what the actual Milford Valley Trails is as a committee. And so there might be some suggestions for tweaking or clarifying a bit of the language and processes involved. But like I said, all of that would come forward to council, and myself and the clerk are representing council on that subcommittee. So we'll be making sure that, there's an understanding and a sensitivity to that framework. But the idea was that a lot of the minor tweaks could be done and reviewed by the committee and then presented to council. And if council feels as though there's more that needs to be done or it needs to be totally redone, then council can take that decision and move forward from there. But I don't think much is going to be needing to change other than a few clarifications.
very good. I know it has potential to be very contentious topic for sure, depending on the modifications. I know back in 2010 at that stage, because I was on Milford Valley Trails, there was no bicycles even permitted on the trails. And I know they've come a long way to be incorporated into it. So it's certainly gone a long way, but it's, you're right. It's it's over a decade. Wow, how a decade flies. So anyways, we look forward to it. Any other questions for Deputy Mayor Graham with regards to his report on Milford Valley Trails? Okay, seeing none. Anything else, Deputy Mayor?
No, I believe that's it for now.
All right, very good. Councillor Belch.
Ganaraska,
Did Councillor
setting
Belch
up their meetings for February 18th at 7:15. Sorry?
No, I think there's a lag there, Councillor Belch. You were frozen, but that's okay. But we heard you. It's okay.
Oh, okay. And I guess that's it for now.
Very good. And I should have
We'll
mentioned earlier.
report when we have it.
I should have mentioned earlier when we're going through the council committee verbal reports, congratulations to our Councillor Huntley, who is the new vice chair at the Orca. So congratulations.
Thank you.
That's a standing O. Yeah.
Good.
Anything else? Any other committees? Any other verbal reports? If not, seeing none, Madam Clerk, I will get a mover and a second to receive those. I'll start with a mover, Deputy Mayor Graham and Councillor Huntley. Madam Clerk, recorded vote.
Councillor Huntley,
Yes.
Councillor Belch. Sorry, Councillor Belch.
He blinked twice.
Yes.
Councillor Moore,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Graham,
Yes.
Yes.
Mayor McFadden.
Yes. Very good. Motion is approved. Motion for high-speed internet to North Monaghan. We're sorry, Councillor Belch. It's there's a delayed response coming out of your ward today. It's you voted the same time as
Okay.
Matthew on that last one.
Okay.
All good. Okay, moving along. Item 11, general business. There is none. Any correspondence for information any members of council wishes to bring forward? Seeing none. Correspondence for action. We have a letter from the Township of Tonabee South Monaghan regarding airport noise. My suggestion would be to refer this to the clerk to send a letter of support with regards to the letter that the OSM is writing. So in other words, we're supporting what Tonabee South Monaghan has already written. Madam Clerk, does that work?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Councillors, mover and a seconder? Mover, Councillor Moore, and second by Deputy Mayor Graham. Madam Clerk, any discussion? If not, okay. Madam Clerk, recorded vote.
Deputy Mayor Graham,
Yes.
Councillor Belch,
Yes.
Councillor Moore,
Yes.
Councillor Huntley,
Yes.
Mayor McFadden.
Yes, motion is approved. Moving into bylaws then, and I have a list, being bylaw number 2021-05, being a bylaw to appoint Frederick Hellenberg-Bruner as Deputy Chief Building Official. Bylaw number 2021-06, being a bylaw to provide for the levy and collection of 2021 interim realty taxes and penalties for non-payment thereof. And bylaw number 2021-07, being a bylaw authorizing the temporary borrowing of funds to offset the current expenditures of the Township of Cab Monaghan. And bylaw number 2021-08, being a bylaw to provide for the alternative voting methods for the 2022 municipal election. Be read a first, second, third time, signed by the mayor and the clerk, and the corporate seal attached thereto. Got a mover in Deputy Mayor Graham and a seconder of Councillor Huntley. Madam Clerk, recorded vote.
Councillor Huntley,
Yes.
Councillor Belch,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Graham,
Yes.
Councillor Moore,
Yes.
Mayor McFadden.
Yes, motion is approved. There is no unfinished business. Any surprise notices of motion? Seeing none. Confirming bylaw, being bylaw number 2021-09, being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of the meeting held February 1st, 2021, be read a first, second, third time, signed by the mayor and the clerk, and the corporate seal attached thereto. Moved by Deputy Mayor Graham, seconded by Councillor Moore. Madam Clerk, recorded vote.
Deputy Mayor Graham,
Yes.
Councillor Moore,
Yes.
Councillor Belch,
Yes.
Councillor Huntley,
Yes.
Mayor McFadden.
Yes, motion is approved. Upcoming events, we have February 4th, BIA Board of Management at 8 a.m. via Zoom. February 22nd, Millbrook Valley Trails Advisory Committee at 5 p.m. via Zoom. Is there any other meetings that council is aware of that should be on this list? If not, Deputy Mayor Graham?
No, I was just going to say from a county perspective, we have the first public county budget presentation on the 3rd. So if you're anyone out there is so inclined, they're welcome to join us. Obviously, it'll be being held via Zoom. So all that information is on the county website.
Yep, and just to be clear to Deputy Mayor Graham's point, there is a budget meeting held in the afternoon, I believe, and in the evening is the opportunity for county residents to speak to the budget. So that's certainly been a first in my 10 years of being on county council. The county will have provide an opportunity in the evening for members to speak to it. So by all means, certainly look forward to hearing from you on the evening of February 3rd. Councillor Belch. Go ahead.
Yeah, the only other, the GRCA will be having a Ganaraska meeting on the 18th, February 18th at 7:15 p.m.
Very good. Is that a regular one or is that the AGM?
That's a regular one.
Regular council.
And it
Okay.
will, I'm pretty sure, it'll include the plans of GRCA with regards to their plans for what we'll have to spend from Cab Monaghan to be a part of their
Budget.
I guess their operations.
Okay, very good. All right, if there's no further items, then a motion to adjourn.
Sorry, Mr. Mayor, could we please go
Apparently
back
we
up?
have another item. Yes.
Could we go back up to 9.1 to approve the minutes?
Oh,
of
I'm
the minutes of the
sorry,
library
Councillor
board?
Moore.
Yes.
I apologize. Let's go back up to 9.1. Yes. Minutes of the special meeting, no, sorry. Cab Monaghan Public Library Board minutes of the meeting held December 15th, 2020. Councillor Moore.
You want me to do it again or just a pass? It's just okay.
No, sorry. I thought there was an item specific to the minutes that you wanted to speak to.
No,
No, okay, my apologies. Oh, so you've already covered it off in your
yes,
verbal report. Okay, not a problem. Motion then to receive those minutes from the library. Deputy Mayor Graham and Councillor Huntley. Madam Clerk, recorded vote?
Deputy Mayor Graham,
Yes.
Councillor Belch,
Yes.
Councillor Huntley,
Yes.
Councillor Moore,
yes.
Mayor McFadden.
Yes, motion is approved. Madam Clerk,
Thank you.
thank you very much for letting us not get into trouble again today, and we approved everything that was on the agenda, so we're good. And with that, do I have a mover and a seconder on the adjournment, Ms. Arthurs?
No, sir.
If not, it was Deputy Mayor Graham and Councillor Huntley. Madam Clerk, recorded vote?
Councillor Moore,
Yes.
Councillor Belch,
Yes.
Councillor Huntley,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Graham,
Yes.
Mayor McFadden.
Yes, motion is approved. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much, everybody.